mind, looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine.
All right, welcome to the Poole Locke YouTube channel. I am James Locke. Today we're going to answer 2 more Ask James questions of the day. Now we have this question from Jack. He says, how do I know if I need an annuity? All right, Jack. Well, there's a few different ways to think about that. One way is if you're really behind the 8 ball in retirement. If you're getting close to retirement and you try to put your money in the traditional interest and dividend bearing investments that I always talk about on this show, on this channel. Well, if you feel like you're behind that 8 ball and traditional investments can't give you enough interest or dividend payments to retire, then you may have to consider an annuity. Now you might need to have an insurance company that, yes, systematically can spend down your principal. But at least it guarantees that the income will never stop to give you that peace of mind in retirement. So the first asset test is, okay, are you behind the 8 ball? Do you need more income than you can get from traditional investments in interest and dividends? But there's another part to it, and that is, do you want to be conservative? When you're conservative, I've often talked in the past about bank CDs, things like that, right? They're really secure. But if you want to have a long-term CD, you're not going to get competitive interest rates today, as compared to, say, a 6-month CD, right? So I've talked about how annuities can optimize, oftentimes they can pay more than that, for the long term. Government bonds, they're in the same situation, right? A 10-year government bond right now is at 4.5%. So again, you can get an annuity and get a higher interest rate long term to fund that long-term liability. That's what retirement is, a long-term problem or issue. So if you're the kind of person who says, I want some of my retirement money insured, I want it backed by either an insurance company or the government or FDIC, well, that's when annuities can make sense for you, because it's not that you haven't saved enough or anything else like that. It's just because you're conservative. You want to get the most interest you can, but you want some insurance behind it. Now, another factor to consider is your longevity risk. If you have a family history of living well into your 90s or beyond, an annuity can provide protection against outliving your savings. This can be particularly valuable if you don't have other sources of guaranteed lifetime income beyond Social Security. It's also worth thinking about your overall retirement income strategy. Annuities can play a role in creating a personal pension to cover your basic living expenses. You might use an annuity to cover your fixed costs, and then use other investments for discretionary spending and legacy planning. Your risk tolerance is another crucial factor. If market volatility keeps you up at night and you're looking for more predictable income, certain types of annuities might be a good fit. However, remember that this predictability often comes at the cost of potentially higher returns from riskier investments. Also consider your other sources of retirement income. If you already have a substantial pension or other guaranteed income streams, well, you might not need the additional guarantees that an annuity provides. Tax consequences can also play a role. Annuities offer tax-deferred growth, which can be beneficial if you're in a high tax bracket now, but expect to be in a lower bracket in retirement. Now, lastly, think about your desire for flexibility. While annuities can provide guaranteed income, they also typically involve giving up some control over your assets. So if you value the ability to access your money at any time or potentially, leave a larger legacy, to your heirs, then you might want to limit how much of your portfolio you commit to annuities. Jack, I hope that helps answer your question and gives you kind of a framework to think about whether annuities make sense for your situation. Remember, annuities can be complex products and it's often worth consulting with a financial advisor who can look at your entire financial picture before making a decision. And hey, you can determine now, being fully informed, whether or not annuities make sense for you and your overall retirement income strategy. Great question. As always, if you'd like me to answer your question, you can do so by emailing it in to poollock@poollock.com. Moving on to our second question of the day. So this email is from Michael, and he asks, I'm nearing retirement, so I've been to a lot of seminars, and it seems like everyone just wants to sell me an annuity. Why is that? I understand that, Michael. It happens all the time. When you go to the seminar, you have to know the background of the advisor. There are a lot of people that do seminars where they're either not licensed to do asset management, where they really can't handle stocks and bonds and all that. Therefore, they're only insurance licensed. So they're selling annuities. And by the way, that's important, right? I hadn't really mentioned that in other questions, but if you're dealing with a variable annuity, then that person has to have a securities license plus the insurance license, right? But for the other three types of annuities, all you need is a life insurance license in just about every state. And that's why, Michael, that a lot of times you'll see that it's because that's all they can do. That's all they can offer. That's all they're licensed to do. So you've always got to ask yourself, if somebody's trying to sell this at a seminar or in a public forum, why is that? There's got to be a reason. All right, now for some, it's because that's all they have in terms of licensing. That's all they can offer. Now in other cases, they're maybe putting it out there because maybe there's more money in it for them. And they feel like, that's their business model. That's what they want to do. I always recommend that you shouldn't even consider an annuity until you have a feel for how much income you need in retirement, how much income you want in retirement, and how much income your current assets are generating, and how much they can generate. And then you can determine, okay, if I can cover these needs and wants through the current amount of interest and dividends, then I'm okay. But then you have to ask yourself if, the second question, am I an aggressive investor or am I reasonably conservative in retirement? And if the answer is more reasonably conservative, then that's where an annuity might make sense for some portion of your money. But remember, I said part. If somebody's trying to tell you to put most or all of your money into any one investment, including an annuity, Michael, I would tell you to take your money, grab your wallet, and run. Don't walk, but run in the opposite direction, because what you really need is a plan, not a single product or investment. It's also worth noting that annuities are just one tool in the retirement income toolbox. There are many other ways to generate income in retirement. Dividend-paying stocks, bonds, BDCs, real estate investment trusts. There are, strategies like systematic withdrawals from a diversified portfolio. They have their pros and cons, and the right mix depends on your individual situation. Another thing to consider is that annuities can be complex products with various features and riders. It's crucial to understand exactly what you're buying. Some annuities might offer attractive guaranteed rates or income benefits, but these often come with trade-offs like reduced liquidity and higher fees. Also, keep in mind that the financial services industry is changing. Now, there's a growing emphasis on fiduciary responsibility, which means advisors are legally obligated to put your interests first. If you're attending seminars, it might be worth asking the presenter if they're acting as a fiduciary. Now, if they're not, they may be more focused on selling products than providing comprehensive advice. Remember, retirement planning isn't just about generating income, it's also about managing risk, including inflation risk, market risk, longevity risk. So while annuities can help address some of these risks, they're not a one-size-fits-all solution. Lastly, don't feel pressured to make a decision on the spot at these seminars. Take the information home, research it, consider getting a second opinion from a fee-only advisor who doesn't have a vested interest in selling you a particular product. Michael, the key takeaway here is that while annuities can be a valuable part of a retirement income strategy for some people, they're not right for everyone. What's most important is developing a comprehensive retirement income plan that takes into account your specific needs, goals, and risk tolerance. This plan should consider all your income sources, including Social Security, pensions if you have them, and your investment portfolio. An annuity might fit into this plan, but it should be a decision made as part of your overall strategy, not because someone at a seminar made a compelling sales pitch. All right, awesome questions. As always, if you would like to send in your question, you can do so at any time by emailing them to poolelock@poolelock.com. And if you like what you heard today, go ahead, like, and subscribe to our channel. I am James Locke, your retirement income source.
Money on my mind, looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine. Retirement is near, don't you live in fear. Listen up, my friend, let me make it clear. Savings in the